Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Trailblazers and Trailblazerettes, gather around and prepare yourselves, for tonight we journey once more into the Design Gazette, the show where we get to explore the most contractual, the most venomous, and of course, the most dominating aspects of your favorite characters' designs. Tonight, we venture into a world where debts are signed in lipstick and collected in stone, a world where credit is king and there can only be one queen. Please welcome the unparalleled, the unyielding, and the ultimate arbiter of debts and destiny, Lady Jade!
Hello, my name is Jade. I'm here at your request. If you'd like to take out a loan, you must put something of equal value up as collateral. Your dignity, your feelings, or even your life. What are you willing to exchange?
A senior manager in the IPC Strategic Investment Department and one of the 10 Stonehearts, her cornerstone is Jade of Credit. A cold and elegant moneylender, she is skilled at understanding the human heart, waiting patiently for high-value acquisitions from seemingly destitute clients. As it stands, this humble Crusader has become one of those destitute clients because I have agreed to explore her design at the simple cost of you, my beloved audience, clicking that like button, commenting down below on where you'd like to be stepped on, and subscribing to this dashingly handsome host of yours. And with that price paid, let's jam.
Wealth is the recipe to happiness. Giving it to those who desire happiness is making the best use of it. In this way, my job also brings people happiness. Anyone can receive this blessing. They only have to pay an equivalent price.
The IPC as a faction is modeled after the image of a major corporation, hence when it comes to the dress code, formal attire is a must in order to maintain their professionalism. Both Topaz and Aventurine definitely have their own influences rooted in military and casino aesthetics, but ultimately have formal base designs consisting of double-breasted suits, lapels, waistcoats, and loafers. Naturally, Jade also follows this formal dress code with concave pagoda suit shoulders, hanging coat sleeves, pointed stilettos, and a short V-neck taffeta dress. And like her colleagues from the IPC, her clothes are textured with a crystal-like pattern that signifies a connection to the Amber Lord. As stated, all of these articles of clothing are formal, but the way they are presented fall much more into the realm of high fashion. There are of course things like her dress tail, makeup, and refined bling-bling, but nothing screams more high fashion than bringing a cartwheel hat to a party. See, in the early 20th century, as women began to gain more social and political rights, fashion became a way to express their autonomy and individuality. The cartwheel hat, being a bold and attention-grabbing piece of clothing, allowed women to assert their presence in a very extravagant manner. It kept seeing resurgences during the years of war, often adorned with flowers and ribbons, before reaching the height of its popularity in the 1950s. It was an item that served as a bold fashion statement, demonstrating the lady's confidence in commanding everyone's attention thanks to its dramatic appearance. Historically, it was worn by women in high society during formal events, suggesting classical elegance and femininity. Furthermore, what made the hat so distinct was the sense of mystery and allure it created when partially obscuring the wearer's face with its wide brim. You tell me what's behind those lips.
Don't worry.
All of these fashion choices are of course deliberate, as they're meant to reflect her position in the IPC. As an example, take Topaz,
Hello.
who is designated as the corporation's debt collector. It only makes sense then that her fashion is geared to be simple and militaristic, as she often has to travel out and compel people to pay up the debts owed to the corporation. Jade, on the other hand, is a creditor that makes deals and lends out resources to customers. Her look is one that is elegant and comforting, piquing at the interests of potential clients and inviting them in. And now that your foot is through the door, it's time to sign a contract.
I don't mind if customers buy back their collateral after they accomplish what they want. But I'll propose an even better alternative to them. A way to make them go further and climb higher at a small price. Guess what they choose in the end?
A contract is a legally binding agreement between two or more parties that defines terms, rights, and responsibilities regarding specific situations. In theory, a contract is supposed to be a neutral tool that ensures fairness and makes sure no party can cheat the other. However, in practice, they have come to be known as a trap thanks to the practices of corporations specifically. See, when it comes to corporate entities, they must be held accountable for any scenario that may legally implicate them. Hence, when their lawyers draw up contracts, it usually results in thousands of words of readable material. Due to how comically long these documents can be, many individuals end up skimming or only reading parts of the contract. Usually, all's well that ends well, as everyone gets what they want. But the problem comes in when there is something in the fine print that objectively benefits the company at the expense of the other party. This expense can range from small compromises and inconveniences to large sacrifices basically akin to eternal servitude. It can cost you your wealth, happiness, and even autonomy, and no one can really do anything about it because legally you've already signed away all those rights. It's a Faustian bargain, or basically a deal with the devil, and this is where you begin to see the motif behind Jade's design. Examining her splash art, we can see that she's standing under an ethereal tree with a snake coiled around it, holding a bleeding apple in its mouth. This is straight up a biblical reference to the fall of man, where the devil, in the form of a snake, approaches Eve and offers an elation in exchange for a bite of an apple. Our ever-curious great-grandmother would then eat from the forbidden tree's fruit and would lead to the loss of innocence and the downfall of man. Thanks, Grandma! The tree, the apple, the snake, the crawling man, all of it illustrates the extremes of human ambition and desire. A beautiful and affluent vision that draws you in with the promise of vast knowledge, mountains of wealth, and even eternal youth, all at the small price of a seemingly harmless bite. And now that you've taken this bite, your soul belongs to the devil, guaranteeing a life of eternal servitude and submission. And that is where I would say the central theme of Jade's design is submission encompassed by total domination. Domination through seedy contracts, domination through upper-class wealth, and domination in the imagery she presents. Hell, even a combat style is that of a dominatrix. I mean, step on me, mommy. There are the obvious visual objects like the cane, the whip, leather straps, chains, and even a very handcuff-looking belt buckle there, but there is also the less conspicuous aspects of her playstyle. For the small price of a little health, Jade can give an ally a speed boost and some additional damage, while also gaining stacks for her own follow-up attacks. Gameplay-wise, it seems very beneficial to your team and your numbers, but morally speaking, you've just enslaved one of your characters to Jade, making them a mule that only runs faster and works overtime to give Jade their health and stacks for her own follow-up attacks. I am so sorry, Argenti.
Flesh wound.
It is the definition of a Faustian bargain and a snake who has completely deceived you.
I once met an unfortunate customer whose homeland was about to be destroyed. Even though he offered up everything, the subsidies weren't enough to save his home. In the end, this beautiful jade bead is the only proof of his planet's existence in the whole wide universe.
Now, when diving into a character's design, my usual process is to start with said character's name, because Hoyoverse are known to characterize and even relate entire themes to what a character is named after. Thus, in the process of making this video, I have come to discover that the name Jade has nothing to do with anything I've talked about so far. Jade is a profound stone that represents harmony, virtue, and healing, often associated with and used to represent ancient Chinese royalty. This is a direct contradiction to the dominatrix and deceptive imagery we've seen so far. There is also her signature light cone that reveals her altruistic actions and contributions to an orphanage. You could argue that the stone, like her appearance, is only a front, and the contributions to the orphanage are just an investment for future IPC talent, but I'm not convinced. It's a piece of a puzzle that I really can't fit in the picture, and maybe that's the point. This is for the simple reason that all the IPC characters we've met so far are equally complex and morally grey in the way they are presented. At first glance, both Topaz and Aventurina are introduced as these dubious figures who only live to serve the corporation. But get to know them and you find characters with their own goals and aspirations trying to live meaningful lives. Similarly, I'm not willing to classify Jade as either good or evil because in actuality she's just another form of grey. A green jade can either signify royalty or can be poisonous. A corporation might oppress the individual or benefit society at large. And in Genesis, the snake might be a devil, but in Greek mythology it represents Asclepius, the god of medicine and healing. Good people do bad things, and bad people do good things. It's just that simple, and also that complex. And that is a wrap on episode 15 of the Design Gazette. If you enjoyed our time together, be sure to help me out by liking, sharing, and commenting down below on your favorite things about Jade. Patreon's in the description if you want to buy me a coffee, and if you're new around here, hi, I'm the starward Crusader, and I have a whole series of Design Gazettes and story recaps for you to enjoy by hitting that big red button. At the time of this recording, I just finished watching the trailer for Guilty Gear Season 4, and somehow Lucy from Cyberpunk is going to be in my favorite fighting game. Not to mention the best Fate, UBW, is coming to Star Rail, and Terry Bogard is in Street Fighter 6. It really is the year of the crossovers, huh? But as cool as it is that all my favorite franchises are colluding with each other, it's time I got back to the grind and finished up recording for the Lawfu arc in preparation for the next video. Speaking of, I am working on something new for the channel, something that just might become a regular series, but I will elaborate on the details as we get closer to that. In any case, I have to get back to the kitchen and start cooking again. So until next time, dear Trailblazer, may your journey lead you ever starward.